What is going on, Wolfpack Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Tuffy Talk live show, y'all. We got Greg the Leg sporting some glasses that he was not wearing before we were talking. So I had a little bit of a chuckle there during my intro, so I'd apologize about that. But yeah, Greg, you need to get some updated Tuffy head ones, man.
I do, yeah. They don't make them yet, so but I'm rocking the Stars and Stripes for the 4th of July. So
that's right. Happy 4th of July, everybody! Happy we could do a show because I remember last year that July 4th was on a Monday, so we decided to move back the live show, and so we're able to fit in the live show here before the 4th. But hopefully everybody is enjoying it, getting ready to go, and then getting ready to enjoy some fireworks and the big day tomorrow. But in the meantime, we got a ton to talk about here during the Tuffy Talk live show, and we'll actually be starting off here with some NC State football trivia. So with that being said, excited to get that rolling here. But if you're tuning in here with us for the first time, then the drill is pretty simple. That any questions, thoughts, comments that you have, make sure to send them to us right here in the comment section, and we will get to all of them here today, guaranteed. And just follow Nick and In-Game 14 Alpha's lead. And just, again, if you don't even have anything to say yet, just say hey. We'd love to know who's tuning in here with us. But with that being said, though, so let's jump on over some NC State trivia. So we have 5 questions here today that I put together, and to make it a little bit tougher, it is not going to be multiple choice. It is going to be a fill in the blank, basically.
You're joking.
Yes, because I you know what, I couldn't handle the stress of trying to find 3 other bogus answers.
3 other options.
No,
do I get like 5 points for putting my name on the paper? Do I get like
I'll give you that.
Okay.
Well, because again, and because especially since we've done it so long, especially since all of us are diehard State fans, it's tough to find questions that that are going to challenge at this point. So, and we're actually doing the questions are a little bit different, where they're not necessarily history questions per se. They're more of I kind of like to call them remember that play trivia, where basically there's something about that play and you have to remember something. Now, again, it's not like remember at 3 minutes and 42 seconds. And you're like, and you're like, yeah, it's plays that are significant for sure. Okay. Yeah, they're not just Joe Schmo plays. So, but it's basically testing your knowledge about players that were involved in that play. So,
let me get my thinking cap on.
Yeah, right.
All right.
There we go.
All right, now I'm ready.
Right.
Now I'm ready.
There we go.
Going back to the OG.
Yeah. All right. So with that being said, let's jump on into here first. And that's supposed to stay in state trivia, but
okay, I got it.
Wow.
I wasn't quick enough.
I wasn't either.
All right. So I've learned something new here today. So we're gonna have to do instead is I'm actually gonna have to present my screen, and we're gonna have to do it that way because otherwise the PowerPoint was not working. So because it's supposed to pop up, just the question first, obviously, but didn't do that. So if you give me 1 second here, I'll bring that back up. Yeah, I was gonna say because I was like that does not look right. So okay. All right, so let me know when y'all can see my screen. Shush, Greg. All right, cool. Is this it?
No.
No go? All right. Well, you know what? Let's take a pause on this and let's have a little bit of a conversation here, and we'll come back to this while I get this figured out here. So
I had my name on the paper and everything.
I know. Well, it's funny because you're actually backwards here, so like your name is backwards on it. But yeah, no, total fail. So let's jump right into it. So one of the questions which I put out there for talking about NIL, because there's been a lot of conversations about NIL these days. And we put out a poll saying 2 years ago today, and this was, I think, on Saturday, 2 years ago today, NIL was introduced to the college sports world. Do you like how NIL has changed college sports in today's day and age? And there's 400.
By the way, 430 votes. That's pretty good. That's a good sample size. Let's go.
Yeah. No, and it was not even close. 73% of those 430 votes said no. 17% said yes. 10% said does not matter. So, kind of give it to me, Greg, since you were the first one to kind of speak here. I mean, are you shocked by these results at all?
No, I'm really not. I know. Again, now I would be interested if we had the analytics to back up the age groups of those answers, right? Because I feel like the older population would probably be more in the no's, and then the younger would probably be yes, doesn't matter. But not knowing that, not surprised, and I kind of feel the same way. But I also get why it's necessary in today's day and age.
Right. Yeah, no, completely agree. So, Michael, anything to add to that?
Yeah, I voted yes. I think we are benefiting from it in basketball. I think it's
Definitely.
part of the turnaround that Keith's had from last year to this year. So, I mean, I like that part. Obviously, not. It's tough because NC State was never. It's not like we were dominating pre NIL. So,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think this gives us a chance to be more competitive than we ever have been. I don't know if it will, but I think it's at least an opportunity.
Yep. Well, and to kind of add in, obviously with us at Tuffy Talk, we're not the insiders. There's plenty of people out there that can give you insider information, things like that, whether it's Inside Pack Sports, Pack Pride, the Wolfpacker, you name it, who can do all the insider with recruiting. But specifically, I mean, one thing that to me brought up this conversation was the news about Elijah Groves. And again, I won't necessarily share all the insider information. If you're interested in the insider scoop, then I would say to go check out one of those, and more likely you'll be able to find out what I'm talking about by checking those out. But basically, obviously, NIL was involved, and NIL was, it seemed like definitely NIL was a big piece of the switching decision that made Elijah choose Kentucky. And that's the thing that just bugs me, is the fact that I feel like like obviously working with Tony Gibson, and seeing seeing him being able to develop great linebackers, look at Drake Thomas, look at Isaiah Moore, now look at Peyton Wilson, look at even some of the guys behind him and Devon Betty, etc. And also too, I mean, with the fact, I mean, we've had, great linebackers over the years between Nate Irving, again, I mean, the list goes on. Yeah. Stephen Tulloch, Antonio Burnett, the list goes on. So to me, it's like it's a slam dunk. I mean, it's the easiest day decision. Being from Tennessee, I mean, I don't necessarily know the mileage from his house to Kentucky. I mean, I'm sure it's probably pretty close. But I mean, I don't know. I just feel like that from a program wise, it makes too much sense. So, to see that NIL was definitely a decision maker, and again, it's tough to really say too much without giving it away. That was the thing that just bugged the crap out of me, was just seeing that it's a shame that in today's day and age, that just like with LSU baseball, how like if you win it all, like if NC State somehow this year won ACC championship, that there's always going to be that caveat of, in the old days, it was like, oh, if you're going to win something, it's because you earned it. It's because you worked for it. It's because you grew it. It's because you found the right coach. It's because you found the right coaching staff, recruited the right guys, developed them, worked them until you got to the point. But now it's like, well, now it's always a caveat thing of now you're, somewhat buying players, aka buying wins, aka buying championships. And so that's the thing, is it just kind of puts a nasty taste, I feel like, in success in college sports these days, because now money is much more involved than necessarily the work behind it. And another thing, which I would even add to it as well, is that I feel like it's putting an even wrong. It's adding on to the wrong message of that college sports is all about the money and making it to the NFL or the NBA or whatever it may be. When that's great and all, but again, you got to focus on taking advantage of the opportunity, taking advantage of the moment, being able to be in a locker room, being at the college level, and also just getting a degree, and having your college paid for, get an opportunity to get a great education. And you look at like back in the old days where players, even though they would go number one overall in whatever draft they were projected to go to, they would still stay in school just because that was of value to them then. And now that is just all but absolutely been blown out the door, and it's not even like gone. See ya. And I think it was BP Cox that even said it's the facilities that will bring the players in, but it's the NIL that keeps them on campus now. And it's like it's a shame that it's at that point. But so yeah, I'm also too in the majority of I'm not necessarily liking where it is, but I understand the reasoning behind it. But there definitely needs to be some pullback on it, if that makes sense. So yeah. Cans, anything to add to that? Or
I mean, I'm one of the, I say yes and no, honestly, because like knowing these guys, like personally, like being really close with them, I get the benefit of it. Like I understand how they're definitely like they're a fan of it, obviously, and it's definitely getting their name out there for when they do go pro. But I mean, if you put state in the talk of Alabama, Tennessee with NIL, I mean, yeah, we can compete, but it's like they have so much more money and stuff like that we don't have. So I feel like that's the only downside to it is it kind of defeats the competition of trying to get a player. Because if you're an 18-year-old coming out of high school and they offer you a free Lambo, I'm gonna take the Lambo, like even if I don't play. So it's like the competition of trying to get guys on the team is a lot harder for teams like us in the ACC because the SEC is just dominant in that aspect.
Yeah.
Did anyone by chance? Oh, go ahead, Michael. I'll let you.
I was just gonna say I understand that, but at the same time, it's not like we were competing with Alabama before.
That's true.
And it's like I don't know. Has it changed that much for at least for where NC State is? You know.
True point. Yeah. Go ahead, Greg.
I was just going to say, did anyone catch the Brendan Armstrong interview with Joe Giglio last week by chance?
I did.
Yeah, I thought it was really good what he said about the NIL because Joe asked him directly, and a couple of points that Brendan brought up is, he's one of those athletes that has seen both sides, right? He came in before NIL was a thing, and now NIL is a thing. And he just basically just broke it down for the benefits for him. And then he even came out and said like NIL wasn't what brought him to state, right? It was the opportunity to compete, the Robert and I connection, those sorts of things. Now the NIL doesn't hurt in that regard because, he's going to get a little change in his pocket. But I think that is a good thing. And the last thing I will say about NIL is NC State has gotten very creative with ways to kind of drum up support for NIL with various like auctions and experiences and events, those types of things. And so I think that in order for us to be able to continue that trend, those are the things that we're going to have to do is kind of think outside the box to raise money, because the one thing we've always said is, state turns out, 15 to 20,000 alumni a year, but yet our Wolfpack club alone is only about 12 to 13,000 strong. So in order to compete with these other programs, we're going to have to get creative and think outside the box in order to maintain the ability to draw in good recruits.
Well, and it's been, and speaking on that, it's been great though to see, specifically Savage Wolves. Again, just Pack of Wolves doesn't really say as much about what's going on or how things are going, but Savage Wolves has blatantly said about how much progress there has been from a from an NIL perspective. They've grown significantly over the last few weeks, and I'm sure a lot of it is probably time-wise it makes sense because there's a lot of, all the focus right now is on recruiting, and if all the focus on recruiting and right now, then the focus is on NIL. And so I think more and more fans are starting to see that we are in that day and age where NIL is a huge factor. And so if we want to start to get these guys, then then we have to start competing in the area. So it's just it's just a different beast, and it's still some getting used to, even though it's been around for 2 years. But I would also say too that 2 years now we've seen kind of more of the results of NIL. You know what I mean? Like now we're seeing like these 17-year-old kids getting offered 7-figure deals to go play, and it's like they haven't even played one down of college football yet, but yet they're getting 7-figure deals. It's stupid.
I just saw an article today that a 9-year-old kid that's on Snoop Dogg's, football all-star just got a 6-figure deal. 9 years old.
That can't be real. That can't be real.
It's in the newspaper, I swear.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because right below it was an article about Baker Mayfield on Tampa Bay. So
that's crazy. Yeah.
Well, that also doesn't seem real. So
I wish it wasn't real. It's a nightmare for me.
Believe it. Believe it, Michael. Believe it. So, all right. So with that being said, I think we are ready to try this once again, y'all. So let's try with this trivia once again. So I actually changed up because like with PowerPoint, like there's a way like to click it to so that way things come up. But when you're presenting it on the StreamYard, it like just gets rid of all that. So I changed up the format here. So now it should work here. But we got Winston here saying all NIL did was get the big name schools to give kids money legally. Yeah.
That's another point. Like, I mean, schools were paying players under the table before this. It's
Yeah, now the bag can actually have dollar signs on it instead of just saying Adidas.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Ooh, yeah. Hey, was that a Dennis Smith thing, man? Oh, yeah, okay.
Take it for whatever you want.
I like it. All right, cool. All right. All right. So with that being said, so we are ready to hear for some NC State trivia, y'all. So question number 1, and again, if you happen to see the answer, which I think Greg did,
I already
then
knew it anyway.
we'll do this. We'll do this one as a practice question then. So
question. He's my friend.
Yeah. So in the 2016 Notre Dame football game, what player scored the only touchdown of the game? I know Ken's already got it.
He would be so mad at me if I didn't know.
And luckily enough, Ken's, Michael, and Greg can't see the comments as well. So again, y'all, if you're in here with us,
I can't see.
put your answers in the chat. And again, honors code here that you don't Google it as well. Honors code. So all right. So we'll give it 5 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. And let's see it. So in the 2016 Notre Dame football game, what player scored the only touchdown of the game? Greg said Dexter Wright. Ken said Dexter Wright. Michael said
I couldn't think of it. I was thinking Farrell McKeever, but that was the Syracuse one.
Well, and he's the one, and Farrell McKeever's the one that blocked it. But yes, the correct answer is Dexter Wright. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Dexter Wright. Yes. So
pilot.
Yeah, freaking pilot now. He's gonna start flying me to games for free if we have to go across the country again. We've already made a pact.
Hey, I'm trying to look at tickets right now to go to UConn, so I need him to fly me to UConn. Right. So an in-game Dexter Wright, congratulations there, man. So, all right, moving on to the next question here. 2010 versus FSU. An FSU fumble fell into Nate Irving's hands for the win. What is the name of the FSU player who fumbled the ball?
I don't know. The FSU.
I don't know. This isn't state trivia.
But it is a very synonymous play that you have seen 100 times.
It really is, but I don't know his name.
2010.
Yes. 2010 versus FSU. An FSU fumble fell into Nate Irving's hands for the win. What is the name of the FSU player who fumbled the ball? And
I don't know.
Okay, got Cameron in the chat.
I have no clue if that's right.
Yeah, my dad, hold on, let me tune in Chad real quick.
I was gonna say
he was a Florida State fan. 2010. Who was our quarterback in 2010? Just give me that.
Russell Wilson.
Thank you. Sorry, I'm just asking. Okay, I don't know it.
All right, we'll give it 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see some pads here. Ken's, Greg, and Michael.
Let me write it down.
So we got Greg said, "Yo, mama." Michael said, "Ponder." Ken
Christian
said,
"Ponder." This is the only
I didn't write it.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that's the only quarterback I knew from Florida State.
Yeah, that was the only name.
Christian Ponder. Yep, Christian Ponder. Yeah, Greg, we were just talking about.
We did talk about him yesterday.
Yeah, we did talk about him. Christian Ponder. So Cameron got it right. In-game got it right. So Michael. So I would say we're about even now. 2 questions in. Michael got 1 right. Ken's and Greg got 1 right. So we're even 1-1 here. And got in-game 2 for 2. Cameron, even though you didn't get in the first one, you got the first one right here. So Christian Ponder. 2014 versus Clemson. Dravius Wright knocked out a Clemson running back on a hard hit. What is the name of that Clemson running back?
Wait.
And again, another play that you've seen all 2 times because that was a game-changing hit in that game.
Wasn't this 2016? Not 2014.
16. So yeah, sorry, typo there.
Because I literally just watched the game.
2016 versus Clemson. Yeah, apologize there. Got numbers running through my head. Hey, listen, it's July 4th, all right? I'm a little bit slow here. But 2016 versus Clemson. Dravius Wright knocked out a Clemson running back on a hard hit. What was the name of that running back? All right, got it. Parker and Cameron in the chats in game. Got in the chat too. All right, 3, 2, 1. Greg, Kens, Michael,
Yeah,
who we got?
right. I don't think I'm right. I said Travis Etienne.
Yep, Travis Etienne. Michael said Wayne Gallman. Kens has no clue.
I don't know that one.
No clue. The answer
Genuinely.
is Wayne Gallman. Yep. So yeah, Parker got it right. Wayne Gallman. Cameron got it right. In game said Travis Etienne as well. It's funny. In game said Travis Etienne and Clemson fans are still salty about this. So yeah. So Clemson fans are still salty about that hit. Yes, but because Doran, that was another thing too. Because Doran was saying after the game about how that was a big time hit, was celebrating the hit, and I mean, still to this day, I stand by it. It was a clean hit, but
Illegal hit. Yeah.
I'll take that to my grave. So, all right. So now we got Greg and Michael. Sorry, I got Michael up one by one right now. Two.
I have two. Sorry, I have two.
You have two. Yeah. But Kens and Greg have one. So, but yeah. So and right, just like that, Cameron, you're tied up there with in game, and Parker, you're in the game as well. So, all right. Question number 4. Now this is 2014. So this is where I mixed up. 2014 versus South Florida, and the 49-17 win. One player had a career day with 3 total touchdowns.
I'm gonna guess it's not the player on the screen.
Maybe not.
Whoa.
This is a tougher one. I was worried the other ones were going to be easy, so I kind of want to challenge.
I'm just going to go with the person on the screen.
2014.
No, that isn't right. Mm-hmm. I was thinking. I was in Baltimore watching this game.
Okay.
But
can you give us the initials?
No. ST. No.
That's what I wrote. Shadrach.
Shadrach. Yeah. Nope. All right.
I'm slipping tonight.
I was literally in 8th grade. I don't remember what I did yesterday.
Cameron, Parker, y'all got any guesses here, man? Winston? Got in-game here in the chat. Give it about 5 more seconds here.
Screw it.
4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see him. Greg, Kens, Michael. Ken said Shadrach.
I put
Michael said Steph Lewis. Greg said J. Sam.
I don't think I think it's too early for him.
In game said Jacoby.
Too early.
Cam said J. Sam as well.
Could have been Jacoby. I didn't even think about that.
Parker said Matt Days. So there's a good answer. Good guesses. But guess what?
None of them.
None of them. Braylon Cherry had 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown.
I almost put him.
Yeah,
because I watched that 2016 Clemson game the other night because I was bored.
Yeah. So nobody got that one right. So it all comes down to I think this is question number 5 coming up here. So, and luckily enough, we have a tiebreaker question as well if needed. So but Michael, if you get this right, then game over. All right. 2010 versus West Virginia, a famous scramble by Russell Wilson eventually finds a wide open receiver late in the game for a touchdown. Who was the wide receiver?
Jesus Christ.
So who caught the touchdown late in the game on the famous scramble by Russell Wilson versus West Virginia?
One wide receiver from that time.
In the Champ Sports Bowl.
I don't know his first name.
Okay, you got in-game here in the chat. All right. So we'll give it about 5 more seconds here. Parker, Cam, you got any guesses?
I don't know his first name.
Okay, I'll accept. I'll accept half credit here on it, and then
I don't think this is right either.
Okay. All right, 3, 2, 1. What we got? We got Owen Spencer for Michael, Brian Underwood for Kens. Owen Spencer for Greg. Cameron said Owen Spencer. In game said Brian Underwood. Parker, last second, any guess? No. Once again, nobody got it right.
TJ Graham. Is it TJ Graham?
Jarvis Williams. Jarvis Williams. And can anybody remember why it was a special moment for him?
Probably because it was his first catch ever. I don't know.
No.
Russell Wilson's last pass ever as an NC State QB?
Because he was from Orlando, Florida, which is where the bowl game was. So that was his hometown.
No, duh.
That's why it's extra credit.
That's why it was extra credit, just in case. So, yeah, no. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
no. So
Well, this ad's crap.
yeah, I thought that was your thinking cap.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Well, again, that was fun. So, Michael, congratulations for
Two
winning it
out
by
of
default.
Good job,
Winning it
buddy.
Yeah,
by
right?
default.
Woohoo. Yay,
Great.
Michael.
Me and Greg made a solid
And,
10% on that test.
And Cam Parker in game. I appreciate all y'all joining in on that trivia. And again, we'll do more trivia like that, I think, in the future, just to kind of change things up. Because
Make
like
a multiple choice.
well, no, because then it's just I don't think
Have
I
test
don't know.
anxiety.
Then you got to think of 4 answers.
But that's the thing.
for
It's
one
like
question.
it takes less time for me to put the questions together if I don't have to worry about
Yeah.
trying to find 3 other answers that are. I think about like, is this one too
That aren't
obvious? Is it not
obvious,
too
yeah.
obvious? Yeah. So and because again, y'all are we're all diehard NC State fans here too. I mean, like I gotta keep.
I'm a diehard State fan. I don't know who the other players were.
Oh my gosh! But you've seen that play 100 times, and they're
But
all
you kinda
recent.
tune
I'm
out,
not focusing on them.
right? You
I-
don't focus on them. I don't care if we not
Okay.
knocked out.
Okay, yeah, okay. So you're gonna tell me on that play when Christian Ponder fumbled, you weren't going, yeah, suck it, Ponder. You fumbled, you blew it. Yeah, because you had a wide receiver wide open in the
I think I was
corner
in
that
fifth
could have
grade
beat
at that
us.
point, so no.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Sure.
Moving on. Tweets
Yeah,
of the week.
moving
Let's
on.
go.
Let's
Greg's
do
so
it
mad
here.
right now.
Yeah. No, but yeah, good job. Thanks, Cam. Glad you enjoyed it. We'll do more of that here soon. Let's jump into some tweets of the week. Here we go. Got a lot to get. All right. So our first tweet of the week. Usually I'd have my tweet of the week already popped up, but we actually, just like last week, have a clip, which instead of doing, which was attached to a tweet, but so it's still a tweet of the week, but it was a clip that was attached to the tweet. So this is a little bit of a shout out here. Layton. Okay, Greg. So this is a clip here of an interview of the San Francisco Giants manager after the game. I think it was last night, talking about Patrick Bailey and his home run. His again, another huge game for him. A little bit of a snippet here from him. So let's check it out.
Prior to the game, I did this little Sports Center hit, and in the Sports Center hit, I was like hearing the comparisons, like Pat to like Buster, and obviously getting like really high on the work that he's done. That was like part of the questioning, right? Is this how we should be thinking about Pat Bailey? And my thought at the time was like, hey, let's pump the brakes a little bit, right? It's a month into his career, like let's let things unfold. But that was as good as it gets. I mean, that was like superstar caliber stuff. A big 3-run home run off one of the tougher relievers in baseball, and an absolutely perfect throw with an excellent exchange.
So, I mean, right there, I mean, and just kind of give a little bit of stats. I tweeted some stats this morning, but again, right now in his 39 games so far in the MLB, he's hitting 309, 338 on base percentage, 528 slugging, 5 home runs, and 26 RBIs. And so I mean, and obviously those words right there, from the manager, the guy making the decisions himself. I mean, it's crazy thinking about, how like Andrew Kisner, for example, like, he's touched, the MLB with the Cardinals some, but, to hear Patrick Bailey, who only graduated from NC State back in 2020, I think it was. I think it was a COVID year, 2020.
Yeah.
So just 3 years ago. And I mean, that quickly has already gotten to the MLB. He's been in the MLB again for 39 games. And it sounds like from what they're saying, especially since their catcher is, I mean, getting on the older side, I mean, it sounds like, the Giants are saying, hey, great. We already have a guy right here who's young and can be our guy, our franchise guy behind the plate, for a long time. So you add that now with Trey Turner and Carlos Rodon. I mean, once again, that's the thing, which is
talent. That's all it is.
We produce. And that's what I'm saying is like, that's what annoys me is that like, if you're Avon and Chris Hart, you finally have everything that you have been asking for, that you've been able to recruit without, which is, you didn't have facilities. You didn't have the repertoire, from developing MLB, but now you have the upgrades and facilities. Mm-hmm. Now you have 3 guys in MLB who are, I mean, if you're a baseball player, these 3 guys, and Trey Turner, Carlos Rodon, and now Patrick Bailey. So it's great. It's awesome to see it. And I mean, we got guys that we'll talk about here in a little bit later that are continuing to go up. That will probably, get their opportunity here sooner rather than later. So, I mean, give it to me, Greg. I mean, you were around, the baseball, guys plenty. I mean, are you surprised, about Patrick Bailey being the switch hitter he is, and God, dude, that dude's got an arm behind the plate, man.
Yeah. So a couple of things. One, let's not forget that Patrick Bailey before this year, his highest ball was A ball. So like he played some A ball this year, got to double. He was A ball, then jumped to double A and jumped to triple A really quick this year. And so for him to do those two levels, a lot of guys spend a year at each of those levels, sometimes more. And then just for the impact that he's making offensively. And I know Pack Pride. I don't know if they were the ones that originated the tweet, but someone threw a montage of just the framing job that he does defensively, and he was getting strikes. I mean, those balls were 4 or 5 inches, 6 inches off the plate, and that's a big gap when you're talking Major League Baseball pitching. And so the fact that he's doing it not only offensively, defensively, the sky's the limit. I mean, this guy's 24, 25 years old, and he's already crushing it. And yeah, I'm excited to see what he does moving forward.
Yeah. Ken's, Michael, anything to add to that?
I mean, catcher just has been a really good position for us, and doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon with Cozart, and you had Peebles and then Alex Sosa next year.
Yeah.
I just want somebody to come to the Braves.
Yeah.
Waiting for that day.
I don't think you're necessarily needing it though, Kens. That's all I'm saying. Though.
I'm telling you right now, we're winning it all this year. Watch out.
Oh, geez.
One of my teams is going to win.
You got to come through the Rays first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Did we already beat the Rays this year though?
Ooh.
Whatever.
All right. Anyway, so
line.
Let's back it off here, people. No. So, and got to give a shout out here to these two graphics here put out by Pac-9 as well about how State's had 24 pitchers drafted in the past 10 years, and then we've had 6 shortstops drafted in the past 10 years. Big names between Joe Denand, Josh Hood last year, Jose Torres, Will Wilson, Logan Ratledge, and Trey Turner. So, I mean, I know
Wilson's
maybe
getting close too. He's getting real close to getting called up.
And I'm surprised. I haven't really heard much about Joe Denand, but I'm surprised not just name alone with being A-Rod's nephew that hasn't helped. Not saying it should, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's a fringe guy right now. I expect him. I mean, he's still fairly young. He did have a cup of coffee last year with the Marlins, but he's just the Marlins have got a good ball club too. So I'm not sure who he has in front of him, but not surprising. But yeah, these guys are just working and doing their thing.
Yeah,
Trey Turner, I do not remember him being drafted by the Padres.
Yeah, so
how long was he? Was it a trade?
Yeah, so what happened was he got traded to the Nats, but because of his age, it was a really weird MLB rule. They couldn't complete the trade, so he actually was a national playing in the Padres farm system, and then when he was old enough, they were able to officially trade him. It was and I might have a little bit of the details wrong, but he basically played a year for the Padres when he wasn't Padres property.
Because I was like, I do not remember him in the Padres at all.
Oh my God, you're right, Parker.
Oh, yeah, Parker, great job, Braves fan.
Yeah.
He doesn't play. Relax.
Fail.
He rides the bench. It's okay.
He's a minor league.
Minor league Kens. Come on. All right. So and then Nick points out too that Rodon may make his Yankee debut on Friday. I saw he was pitching with the AAA team for the Yankees, doing some. Yeah. That's the thing that kills Rodon is injuries. Has absolutely has plagued him in his whole MLB career.
Yeah, the year that he was really good with the Giants, he had like about a 2-year run where he was healthy and he was killing it. In fact, I think he was an All-Star. Remember, because I believe he pitched to Trey against each other in the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, no, he was leading like ERA and like he was leading statistical categories, throughout all MLB pitchers, which is. Again, it just kind of shows like that. I mean, I feel like MLB is kind of a lot like hockey, where like even though you may be a top draft pick, like you still have to develop. You still have to get accustomed. Like it's very rare unless like you're like the number 1 draft pick and you're like this year's number 1 draft pick in the NHL, where you're just like you are a game changer. More likely, you're probably going to have to play in the lower level team and then work your way up to the NHL. So
yeah. In fact, I mean, hockey's so weird. We won't get into this tangent. Like a lot of the guys, they get going back to college and they still hold draft rights and so on and so forth. So sometimes you don't even see them, sign a professional contracts.
True.
Yeah. Minor leagues. I mean, I saw, I think this year a dude was like 34, 35 years old and finally made his major league debut. I mean, he'd been in the minors like 16, 17 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the guys just, get buried in different depth charts and can't fight their way out of it.
Yeah. So now we were talking earlier about NIL and we were talking now about baseball. So let's bring the two together. And I'm bringing this picture up, not saying that Cam Peebles is because of NIL. Like again, he said publicly per a very reliable source that it was not because of NIL. But it's like a I can't even describe it, but it's like a really like just seeing Tennessee and how they're just putting $100 million towards their baseball facilities. So you're thinking in the back of your head, like, okay, like Canada's going to get paid. So like, did he go because of NIL? No, but is NIL going to end up being a part of it? Sure. So, it definitely hurts that now we've had our two young gun, all-stars 2 years in a row have gone to big time SEC schools. It's it's just getting the rich just get richer. The big time SEC schools just get richer.
Yeah, but there's a Tennessee program too that went to the College World Series. I mean, it's not a scrub. It's not Missouri of the SEC, right?
Well, that's why I said the rich get richer.
Yeah. No, yeah. I get what you're saying, but I read the article where he basically said that he thought he was a good enough defensive catcher to go play, so he wanted to go somewhere to play, and Again, we had this conversation a couple of weeks ago. I don't begrudge anyone that's just, buried under a depth chart and they want to go play for playing time. If that's, and Michael has said it, and give credit where credit's due with Michael. It's like, that's what the NIL and that's what the transfer portal is all about, is to give guys an opportunity. Because when he signed his letter of intent, he didn't know what Cozart was going to be. So,
True. Yeah, no, 100% true. And that's another thing too, is that we didn't even have a tweet of the week for it. But because I guess because of the fact that Cozart didn't make the 31-man roster for the collegiate national team. But I mean,
garbage,
dude. Like he literally hit Cozart hit 308, had a 1,000 slugging percentage, an on-base percentage of 500, 3 home runs, 7 RBIs, and 4 walks.
If you combine the other two dudes, it didn't even equal what Cozart did. I mean,
well, and Moore, who's from Stanford, who an assistant coach is also from Stanford, hit 235 batting average, slugged 471, so literally less than half the slugging Cozart had. OB of 278, 1 home run, 4 RBIs, and 1 walk. So
that's what I'm saying. Like you combine those two dudes, because it was the Cal Poly dude and the Stanford dude. So
yeah. So I mean, we're saying from our side. I know that a lot of people say when you talk about the issues of Cozart, you talk about the defense, which I would say as well that, and I think that's maybe one thing that was maybe a fall short that I think a lot of people said is that they should have cycled Cozart and Cannon maybe more frequently, just to give Cozart a little bit of a rest. Put him in as DH, if you need to for Cozart, but just let him take a break. Not pitching 3 games on a weekend, pitching a midweek game, 3 games game on the week. Like that's a lot, especially for a catcher where you're moving a ton and you're on, you're bending your knees. Like that's a workout. It's tough,
So. It's not only that. Like, I mean, I played catcher through high school. It's not uncommon for you to lose about 5 to 6 pounds in water weight. When you're playing in the heat. So,
great point.
I mean, it's very taxing.
Yeah. So, but either way, we're not hurting at catcher. It's not like without Cannon, we're like, oh, what are you gonna do at catcher? Like, no, we're good. between Cozart and then Alex Soso, which I mean,
hopefully they make it here.
Well, I mean, especially since the guy was daggum hitting balls at Doak Field, so I'm sitting here going, bruh. So but again, we'll see. Can never read that stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah, and that draft should be coming up, I think, next week. If I'm not mistaken.
Yep. Next week, coming up quick. Yeah, coming up quick. So, all right. So, got to move on to another quick little side note here. Got to give a shout out to Miss Carrie Blackwater as it is her birthday.
Mama
so got to give a shout out to.
Just say it's your birthday. Okay, sorry.
Yeah. So huge shout out to Kenzie's mom on her birthday, and we're thinking about it and hoping that she has a great day today.
25 did look any better.
Everybody tell
Exactly.
me that we don't look alike, please.
No, you do.
Don't look like
You won't win that battle.
Like,
You won't win that battle.
sure.
Really don't.
No, you really do.
Yeah. In game says we've had the Yankees on a leash this year, though they may be ahead in the division, but head to head, we've won 5 out of 6 against them. Is he talking about?
He's a Red Sox fan, I think.
Red Sox. That's right.
But they're still
Reds.
chasing the Rays.
They're still chasing the Rays. That's right. That's right. So, all right, real quick here, got to add this in because as y'all know, I'm a big time gymnastics fan for NC State for sure, and I'm excited about this season, and especially excited now because it is official that women's ACC gymnastics is now a thing. Now you officially got UNC, NC State, Pitt, and Clemson as a part of the ACC for women's gymnastics. Now,
did Clemson just are they're the ones that just added the program, right?
Correct, brand spanking new. So they literally haven't even competed in one meet yet. Clemson. So it's going to be really weird seeing Clemson gymnastics. It's going to be really weird, but it's going to be really cool.
Is it just those 4?
Yeah,
just those 4.
That's the bare minimum. It's this is like fencing.
Right.
Well, and I mean, hey, I mean, like wrestling, I mean, has 6. So, and I mean, again, I think with women's gymnastics, it's going to grow, especially now that you have the ACC. So now, if you're the other schools, you're going to, I mean, if you expand, especially because of Title IX, you know, if you say, well, I need a women's sport, okay, well, I have gymnastics.
There's an ACC,
I mean,
it's relatively inexpensive to do.
Exactly. Yeah, because I mean, you don't really have any equipment that you bring with you. You know, you just have your equipment there, and then it's set. And then if you go somewhere, then you just use their equipment. Yeah. So it's exactly. So and again, just gotta remind everybody once again that you know, we were borderline throughout the entire year top 25 program last year. We returned all 3 of our star gymnasts from last year: Emily Shepard, Lex Ortega, and Chloe Negretti. So make sure to come and support these girls, y'all. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We got to start off getting that first ACC gymnastics championship. Got to get the first one.
No lies detected, Winston. I get it. These parents and all these travel things, it's not cheap.
That's true, but it's not as expensive for the
program.
Yeah, exactly. So Endgame's still on a tangent here about MLB. You got them all worked up here, Ken's and Greg. So good going.
Just go cry in your tears.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
plenty of baseball,
I'm just sitting over here because we're top tier this year.
There's so much time left in the season. Like,
yeah, no, we're so early in it. It's ridiculous.
Our whole infield's going to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Top tier.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, whatever. We'll see you
anyway. So now let's move on to a big piece of news here, which I'll let Michael talk a little bit about because I didn't even look up, you know, the stats because I knew that Michael just talked about it. So I was like, I'm sure Michael can talk about it. But we got number 19 in the Directors Cup rankings in the 2022-2023 year. Michael, what is it again? Our second top 20 finish?
Yeah, so second year in a row, we've been top 20, third year in a row, top 25, and 6th year in a row, top 30. 2021 should have been top 20 as well, but baseball got no points for that, which is ridiculous.
What's our highest finish, Michael? Do you know? Is 19 our highest?
15 or 17?
I feel like there was like a 15 or 17 in there. Yeah.
So not quite the highest this year, but I mean, obviously sustaining the success. So it's good.
Yeah, for sure.
Pretty much. I think the only program that didn't really make postseason was men's soccer and women's volleyball and women's softball. I think that's the only 3 programs out of all of our stuff that really competed that didn't make really NCAA type postseason play.
Yeah.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's pretty darn good. We'll take it. Now, I mean, because I definitely looking at the standings as well, definitely the women's side definitely carried the program overall. I mean, between women's tennis going to the national championship game, between cross country, ideally
dominating.
Yeah, I mean, even gymnastics, like we were talking about too, had a great year as well. So Logan coming in, ACC football championship puts that in the top 15 next year. And
does it though?
I mean,
because I don't think it's about NCAA success. I'm not sure it's about conference success.
Well,
Yeah.
I guess the thing is that if you win AC championship, then that means that you're more
Probably
likely
gonna
really
get
high
a
in the
better bowl.
NCAA.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're going to BCS game against the top 10 team, or more likely. So, but yeah, no, and that's kind of the biggest thing. And I do want to ask, like, I want to have this conversation here for like a few minutes, which is once again, because I think from all of us here on the Tuffy Talk side, we're in agreement. So I want to talk a little about it, but let us know in the chat here. So again, if you had a choice, because again, Stanford, for example, like they pretty much almost win this thing every single year. They're always like 1, 2, or 3.
But you need to preface that they have like 50 sports.
Well, exactly. That's true too. But also too, I mean, in most of the sports, they're pretty darn good. But yeah, I get what you're saying for sure. But so would you rather have? But again, I mean, also too, like Stanford in terms of big time. I mean, when's the last time they won a football national championship or a basketball or a women's basketball?
Well, women's basketball's been successful.
That's true. Recently,
they won a women's basketball championship not too long ago.
True, but I mean, it's not necessarily one of the main ones, you know, in terms of men's basketball or football. So I guess
good.
Can you let me ask my question, Greg?
I'm sorry. You asked the question, and you asked me when Stanford was good, and I'm trying to tell you, sir.
Well, and again, I guess that kind of goes to my point again that they're really good, but not so synonymous of getting it done every single year. So I guess the question is, once again, would you rather be a school that wins a national championship in football or men's basketball, you know, a good amount of the years, or be a top 5 team every single year? Or would you rather have a lot of very competitive teams that are at the top of the conference, that are in the top 25 every single year, and flirt with, national, title contending teams? It's because that's where we are. That is where the athletic team, that's where the athletic program is. Now, I know that Boo Corrigan has said that we're focusing on men's basketball and football, which I get, honestly, at this point, I get, and I think you're kind of seeing that with the rifle team, getting shut down, which is unfortunate. Again, I mean, I'm not saying like, yay, we shut down the rifle team, now football and men's basketball will be better. Like, no, but it's like, I think that, again, it's that 30-year drought is staring us right in the face. And so it's like, oh my gosh, we need to finally get over this daggone hump. Yeah. And if we need to move a little bit of money to make that finally happen just one time, which I think that's what everybody's saying is like, okay, it's great, we're number 19 in the country, but yeah, we still have an over 30-year drought of championships. So Michael, I mean, anything you can kind of add? Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to be good at everything. I mean, that's sure. The perfect scenario, but
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, no, I'd take it. Well, it's tough. Yeah. I would want an overall competitive athletic program, but I would want that to also include football and men's basketball and baseball, which where we're at right now, it doesn't. So
I think the thing that state fans want, we're just tired of, like you said, Leighton, flirting with the national championship. Like,
or ACC championship.
Or even that. Like, we get so close and then we shoot ourselves in the foot. And it's that's the hump that I think every state fan wants to get over. Like, have a competitive team, but like maybe once just get over that hump and don't make like mistakes to not get that win. Like women's tennis, we could have definitely won that game, and it's just like we get so close and then we just don't.
But do you think that even if we did win that all state fans would necessarily feel a lot better? I wouldn't think. I don't think so.
I feel like I feel great. A lot better. I feel all right. I feel like we feel better, but it's also like, dang, like we also would be like, heck yeah, we finally beat that curse and finally got a championship under our belt and stuff. But
well, let me ask it to you, Greg, plainly. If football this year finally, or men's basketball this season finally wins an ACC championship, do you think that right there will automatically just take a lot of the air and a lot of the frustration out of Wolfpack Nation?
Yeah, but I also know how Wolfpack Nation is like, oh, we won an ACC championship. Why couldn't we win a national championship? Right. So, I guess at this point, I'm just wanting a championship. I honestly and I know we've won women's basketball championships and we've won wrestling and we've won women's tennis, and you know, everyone's like, well, that's great, but blah 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 blah. It's not the same as the big three in men's sports, but
Right.
I mean, I still count those as ACC championships, and I'm thrilled that we win
Yeah.
ACC championships. But the problem is most no one outside of NC State pays attention to those sports, right? For the most part. So
Yeah.
so when we throw that graphic up, since like the ACC network has been established, NC State has won the most ACC championships, or that we won like 3 last year, and I think only like one other program won more ACC championships than we do.
Yeah.
Most people don't recognize and celebrate that feat, and so that's the most frustrating part for me. So that's
It's
kind of
like
where I'm at.
they compete just as much as the big teams do, but it's also like
Right.
it's not even, we have the talent to win in those big three sports, but it's like
Absolutely.
injuries, it's like stuff that we can't really control that costs us not getting there. And I think that's
Right.
the most frustrating thing for State fans is like we have the talent, and then when we get the talent, it's like we have just crappy stuff to happen, like losing to Boston College
Right.
that season. It's like
We didn't
most
lose.
BS thing. That's true. We didn't, but we should have never been that close. The most
Yeah.
BS stuff happens, and it's like you've got to be joking, and that's what aggravates us the most.
Well, and the things which I'll add to that first and foremost is like, so I always talk about it, how when I did the NC State trivia YouTube video where we, during the football tailgate, I went around and asked NC State trivia, and if you got it right, you got $1. And literally I asked a lot of people questions, like simple questions, like, can you name me a single NC State wrestling national champion? And a single one in the history of NC wrestling, which I'll give you a hint. There's been many of them, and every single one of them could not. I have no clue. Couldn't tell you. Or can you name me the star runner on our cross country team? Which everybody in Wolfpack Nation should know the answer now, but at the time, I have no clue.
And that just goes to my point, right?
Yeah.
And these are great athletes bringing home championships to NC State, and most people just are oblivious to it. For what? And I get it because, like, look, outside of probably us and there's a handful of other folks that really are all into NC State sports. Most people have, I hate to say it, but better things to do with their life than follow every little sport.
Yeah. What? There's life
I know blasphemy.
Sport?
I know.
There's life outside of NC State sports.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and the other,
that's
only
my
other
personality.
thing. Yeah. Well, and the only thing which I would add to that too is that, like, for me, and again, I get, like Logan says here, I would take an ACC championship in basketball or football if it meant other sports didn't do as well for a year. Which
I like how you prefaced it, for a year.
Yeah,
I'm only here for a year.
Just for the year. Yeah. No. Well, and I get what you're saying, but I mean, like, the thing for me, and the thing which I love about this model that we have is that pretty much almost the entire calendar year, except for a month and a half or 2 months, which is the month and a half or 2 months around right now because there's no sports going on. you have a NC State team out there that is competing at the top of the ACC, more likely in the top 25. Like, you have a NC State sport out there you can go cheer for, and you're seeing more likely a great product on that field or whatever kind of pitch they're on. And like, because again, look at softball. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, dude, it's like softball. Like, again, if y'all aren't following softball, Coach Leftwich, I am loving her.
I'm excited.
I am so excited about that. Yeah, I am so excited about softball. So that's what I'm saying. So yeah, Logan, I completely get what you're saying. I'm telling you, I've said it multiple times. I've talked about the party that will take place when football or basketball wins ACC championship.
Raleigh will be burned to the ground,
and I will be crying my eyes out. I'm a man, but I will come clean and say that there will be tears, man. It'll be huge.
I will be a happy man. Waiting to be burned.
Yes.
The party on Hillsborough when we beat Duke. Like, and then I think that times like 100. If we won that, we would burn NC State to the ground. We wouldn't have a university anymore because that day was crazy.
Yeah, 100%. So we definitely have a lot of tweets of the week here, which we'll probably save some of them for next week here because we're already close now. Which I know some of that was me fumbling around with the stupid presentation. So we'll take this thing a little bit longer here. But moving on to our next one here with the ACC SEC Men's Basketball Challenge, and finally we're back in the daggone challenge.
Yep.
Finally, oh my gosh, that was so weird and awful last year being out of it.
The nice thing is there's 14 teams each in each conference, so everyone will be in it moving forward. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, annoying. But NC State will take on Ole Miss at Ole Miss, 9 p.m. on November 28th, which is a Tuesday. I like it. I think it's I think it's a solid game. It's not a gimme game, but it's not like we're playing. I don't even know,
Like
Arkansas
Tennessee.
or
Arkansas is good. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, like well, not saying we're scared of them, but just it's just because it's so early in the season. It's like especially since we have so many new guys. It's like I preferred, if I can, to work up to that Tennessee game, not necessarily get punched right in the mouth from the get go.
Like what we did.
Here we go.
Past season, the way we played
against
Kansas.
Yeah.
Like, I thought
they gave us false hopes.
Right? I thought they were gonna kill us.
Well, and like I think it was Michael that said, or someone said, not so long ago, we actually have 3 SEC games this year, which is interesting. So,
who's the third one?
Vanderbilt.
That's right.
Vanderbilt. I hate Vanderbilt.
Wait, so why is Louisville not playing? If there's 14 teams each?
I thought that was 14 teams. Is it on a different day?
Remember, it's 15 because we had
Notre
Dame. Because as Notre Dame.
Okay.
So
one team still will be left out. Yeah. Okay.
Was it one with the one with the other one, or was there two?
It was two.
I think it
was like two.
I don't know.
I think it was two.
Either.
Side note: Terquavion Smith is going off apparently right now.
Let's go. All right. What's Sickers?
Someone said the commentators are eating him up.
Well, again, I mean, like he will be a great role player in the NBA for whatever team gives him an opportunity. If that's the Sixers, great. But I mean, that
just makes me mad because like it said on all of their needed, it was 3-point shooting. I'm like, okay,
that's what I was saying, Ken.
I'm like, take the 3-point shooter then.
Yeah, but he's so erratic. He's like, I love him to death, but he's very hot and cold, and they want someone that's a little bit more solid.
His size too. I feel like
because I mean, real quick, he could go for 30 or he'd go for 8.
Yes,
right.
But I mean, then again, I feel like that's because of Jarkel this year too. I mean, Jarkel took a lot of that, like because the year before that, T was the playmaker, and now it's like Jarkel had to play in that as well.
All right, Kens, take the red off here and look me straight in my eyes, and you tell me again. There's a lot of time, especially like that Duke game, for example. Like he would, and again, I understand, shoot, and you want to get yourself out.
Oh no, he aggravates the heck out of me. I'm not
okay. There it is.
There we go.
There it was. I feel like Jarkel took some of those too.
Moving on, we got her to admit it.
Yes, finally.
Hey, clip that for TikTok.
Right?
Yeah, Ken's finally saying he aggravates me. Yeah.
They do. They all do.
Well, and again, it's
welcome to 45 years of it.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's tough to do. It is tough to do,
especially
for us.
Shoot, 46. I just got a.
That 46 is showing you on your grade.
I am. Right. I got old timers kicking in.
No. You're looking great, Greg. You're looking great. All right. Yeah. So kind of wrap up there about the about baseball. Got to give a shout out to Johnny Butler again, called out to the AA level, and also to Terrell Tatum. Also too recently got called out to the AA as well. So two 2021 alumni moving their way up the ranks there. Just again trying to join Patrick Bailey, Trey Turner, Carlos at the big show. So again, excited to see it.
Johnny Butler was underrated. That
so underrated.
Remember, Johnny Butler sucks. Don't you remember that T-shirt at the College Series?
That was great.
Johnny Butler
that
sucks.
was funny.
Yeah.
The best one was I think it was his mom that one got it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which
and also too, y'all, we got to have a little bit of a coming together, even though this is not necessarily in-state related, but it wasn't last weekend when the College World Series finished was last weekend, right? So we didn't really talk about it.
Last Monday, yeah.
Yeah, so we didn't talk about it, but
stings.
So and for me again, I was calling Wake Forest to win that whole daggone thing.
Yeah, how'd that work out?
Yeah, I know. Well, again, it wasn't necessarily that it fell on their face, but I would just say more of that. Just they faced a really, really good LSU team. Yeah. I mean, and
best money can buy.
Exactly. The best of money. And that's the thing. That's why I'm saying that's what annoys the crap out of me. Is I think any other year.
And we're back to the beginning of the show.
Right?
That Wake Forest team.
And we're back to NIL.
That Wake Forest team would have won the whole daggone thing, man. That annoys the crap out of me.
One thing I will say, I was glad that they got knocked out because I was tired of hearing about their dang pitching lab.
Yeah.
Oh, God, same.
But I love-
gets the narrative and they just grab the crap out of it and just talk about
Well,
it.
now we're gonna have our own, so
Exactly.
we will hear about that.
But I loved seeing their star pitcher. I think it was Redder with his flow, man.
Loader.
Loader. Yeah,
Brett.
Loader. Yeah,
Louder.
Loader.
Louder.
Louder. Louder.
Louder with
Buttons.
Loader. Loader with
That
Louder.
flow
Whatever he
that he
is.
was pitching
Dude
with,
with
man.
the
I was like,
most.
bro. Right on.
That's
man.
why I grow this because I can't do it in the back. So I
gotcha.
have the
You
flow.
got
in
a
the
party in
front.
the front.
Yeah, I flow in the front. So.
Yeah. So make sure y'all got to give a shout out here. AC Network again as they start their school takeovers here, starting actually on Saturday. This past Saturday, they were at Wake Forest. Now, the one thing which I do got to add, it's kind of an interesting schedule.
They reversed it alphabetically.
Okay, that makes sense because I was really looking at it being like, dang, they have to go to Wake Forest and they go Virginia Tech and they go to Syracuse and go to Pitt, Notre Dame, NC State.
Yeah, it's not a
Miami,
very good travel
Louisville,
schedule.
Georgia
Right?
Tech,
Yeah.
Florida State.
No, they're not traveling anywhere.
Yeah,
this
this isn't that one. This is just they play games all day.
Oh, I thought this was the thing where they go.
No, not
and,
for football. No,
Oh,
not the
okay.
football.
That's
That was
later.
the case.
That's
They're gonna have a
later,
lot
right?
of miles on that plane.
Yeah, no, this is just that your team takes over and they show your best games of the season for
Yeah.
24 hours.
So tell me, what games do you think they're going to?
I was going to ask that. Yeah.
Carolina basketball, definitely.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Miami
Basketball.
basketball game, maybe.
Watching Armando get put on his butt,
Mm.
that was a great time.
I mean, I think. I
you
mean,
gotta
Carolina
football,
football,
obviously.
football will be
The
up
football
there.
game, yeah, against Carolina.
mhm. I would say probably two of the football games between UNC,
Probably two.
maybe Virginia Tech.
Mm.
Maybe
Virginia Tech was a
Wake.
big game.
Maybe the Wake
Oh,
game.
Wake Forest. That would
Wake
be
Forest, that'd be a good game show. Yeah. So
Probably the
Dude.
ACC women's tennis thing. I don't know
Yeah.
how you show that. There's a lot of action. I don't know what you maybe
Yeah.
show some kind of condensed version of that. I don't
Yeah.
know. They probably the
Pretty good.
national championship NCAA race that Caitlin Tui won.
yeah.
That's a 30-minute block.
that's a good one.
I don't know where else. I'm out.
Good guesses. Good guesses. All right. And then last one here. Got to give a shout out to another Pac Pro here. And Ricky Person, who balled out in the USFL. Again, this was a shout out from the Gridiron USFL Twitter page saying Ricky joined the team as the third string running back late in the season for the Stallions. Ricky thrived when he was given a shot and became an integral part of the Stallions playoff and championship win, averaging 7.3 yards per rush and totaling 122 yards in both playoff games. Hope to see you back next year, Ricky. And gotta give a shout out because
Or has he gotten huge?
I
Yeah.
mean, he's a dog. Yeah, I mean,
He's gotten
yeah.
huge.
Yeah, that boy's somebody you don't want to mess with for sure. I mean, he's not a speedster, so again, you gotta, if you're not speed, then you gotta be run and gun, and then that's definitely more of what Ricky Person's style is for sure. So yeah, no, he's definitely gotten built for sure.
He's
So
gotten big.
yeah, man. So keep doing your thing, Ricky, and keep killing it and work your way, and seeing whether you do go back to the USFL, go to the XFL, find your way onto a training camp roster, somehow for an NFL team. I mean, hey, Kins, I know you work with the Panthers. I mean, can you make something happen here or what? I mean, let's go.
If I could make something happen, we'd have an entire state roster.
Yeah,
on the
it would be
Panthers.
all.
Well, you're
No,
working on it. You got to.
Well, yeah, you're the reason they got
Yeah,
Zavala.
We're getting there. Like I have to stop. Everybody has to stop me for not putting so much Icky and Zavala on Instagram and Twitter because I'm like, those are the only people I want to like film and take pictures of. I don't care
Yeah.
about anybody else.
Yeah, no
This is
kidding.
their moment. Let them have that moment.
Right. No, 100%. Well, and again, has anybody heard any news on Zavala?
He just got engaged.
He got engaged.
Ooh, well, that's big news.
I'm with you.
Okay, not necessarily news I was looking for, but yeah, that's big news.
I mean,
for
that's
sure.
pretty big news. I know, not NFL
Yeah.
related. Did you see the?
Yeah, well,
he
yeah.
shot his shot though with the GM. Did you see that?
I didn't
That
see that.
profile?
Yes.
That was good. That was really good. I enjoyed.
Yeah.
I'm not even a Panthers fan as I've made known, but I enjoyed seeing that. So
I
Yeah.
think that some of the stuff that I've heard around, I don't know if it's 100% true, but apparently Icky had a pretty decent role in getting Zavala, like pushing
sure.
it into the talk. Like, look, like this is the
Oh, for
dude we
sure.
want.
yeah, I mean, they
want
definitely
to
talked about it in that video too. So that helps, right? I mean, it's all about
Mhm.
networking nowadays because
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many jobs I've got because I knew something, but it's more about who you know. So
Exactly.
Well, and especially since I've talked to whether it's Des Kitchings while he was at the Falcons or whatever, or Ryan Nielsen with the Saints, and they ask for coaches' input, but the coaches cannot say like go get this guy. I mean, so I think with with Icky kind of being the one to say go get him, because I mean obviously by the offensive line coach's reaction, if he had his option, he would have definitely said, go get Zavala. You will not regret it. You will love it. Go get him.
Yeah, I believe that.
In the room when they were taught, when they saw that the team before him didn't get him, it was like that just gives you goosebumps, because it's like being Chandler and watching that, seeing coaches get that excited over you.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, the Panthers are another team that are going to be dangerous this year. I haven't said that in a couple of years, but I believe it this time.
We'll see with Bryce Young. We'll see what Bryce Young can do.
Bryce Young needs to eat a couple of sandwiches, but I mean,
yeah, he needs some meat on him.
But. All right, hey, can we have a bet here on the Tuffy Talk? Which team finishes higher between the Bucks and the Panthers?
Wait, y'all have Baker, right?
Yeah,
or Kyle Trask.
Or Kyle Trask.
We just got him. We just had him, so good luck with that.
But hey, Greg, I mean, you got Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, so
you're
nice.
Yeah, but Baker's the only guy that could overthrow those two. So
that is so true.
I don't know. Like Baker's like one of those quarterbacks where every other couple of years he surprises you.
He thrived at the most.
Or if he knows that his back is against the wall and this might be his last opportunity, he might. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you, Jonathan.
No, he's just being a prick to me. Okay.
Say Jonathan's got your back, Greg. So hey, listen.
We'll put a little something on it. We'll put a little something on it, Kens. We'll put a little friendly bet on it.
All right, cool.
Whoever we have to buy the others those bibs or pay back.
Okay.
Bibs.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we got a bet here live on YouTube between Greg and Kens. Which team between the Bucks and the Panthers will finish higher in the NFL standings?
I think a better bet would be the Braves and the Rays.
No, that's no contest. You're gonna lose.
Right. I'd take the Panthers bet.
Yeah, you're better taking the Panthers bet.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take that one too.
I love it.
We'll talk offline. I'll see you in the parking lot.
I love it.
I'll catch you outside.
Catch me outside.
Catch me outside. How about that? Yeah. No, but just a FYI, so this week we'll be coming out. We actually had an opportunity. A couple months ago, we interviewed Coach Harold Trammell and the cheerleading squad after they won their national championship, and we had an opportunity last week to interview the head coach for the dance team, which I know for myself, and I know that I asked her before the show, has she ever been interviewed for, and she said no. She's been with NC State for 15 years, and I mean the dance crew won the AC championship, even beat Louisville, which I mean Louisville's famous for the reality show, one of the great dance teams in the country, and they actually have beaten them multiple times over the years. So
Louisville had a reality show.
Yeah, Louisville had a reality show.
I didn't know that either. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
for dance.
Yeah, the Ladybirds. Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yeah, it was with the old coach.
Yeah.
But which had a little controversy there to it. But yes, no, they did have a reality show.
Muy
So
caliente.
I'm sure. I'm sure there was controversy if it was a reality show.
And it was Louisville.
but not necessarily good drama. It was
of course
bad drama with the coach. But anyway, so and then Nick points out that the Rays and Braves play this weekend.
I know. It's gonna let Greg talk his talk. We're gonna show it.
All right, I see it. I like it. So anyway, so we got the interviews coming up this week with Amanda Roger coming up this week, but we got a lot of exciting interviews coming up here to get ready for football here. One of the biggest things which I'll say as well is that, again, like, we've been putting out these, countdown to football clips. So, make sure, go ahead and put it in the comments. If you haven't joined us already on Discord, it's free to do. So make sure to go and join us for free and let us know what clips you want to see next. We still got how many days now, Greg, till football?
59.
59 days. Okay.
Wow, that gave me goosebumps.
Luke Kuechly days till, even though Luke Kuechly wasn't NC State, but shout out to Kuechly. So
no,
how can you not love Kuechly, Greg? Come on.
How can you not love that man?
Kuechly's
Greg, get out.
Kuechly's awesome, man.
Out, Greg.
We need to wrap this thing up.
One of the best to do.
Well, hold on. 59. Was Nate Irving 59?
56.
56. Let's see, 56.
3 days
Okay.
we can say.
3 days, and then we'll do Nate Irving days. Okay. So you know what? So what was it? So that means that will be on Thursday. I'll make sure to put on calendar Thursday. We'll do one of his suplex plays on Thursday.
Maybe next year when we get to like, I don't know, like 90 or something like that. Maybe we do an all-time great with that number.
Well, and because that's the thing is that, you know, I try and do like clips, and obviously, you know, for some of those you don't necessarily have clips.
Yeah,
so-
but we can maybe find a
But yeah.
picture or something. Maybe do a side project or something.
Yeah, we could change it up for next year, since for the two years in a row now we've done
Yeah.
kind of clips.
I'm
Yeah,
so excited.
Well, and that's why like my boy Chance Puckett, who's you know, was the comm person for gymnastics. He's doing like his own countdown.
A little different. I like it a little
But he's
different.
doing like full
Yeah.
games, which I'm like, oof.
And he's doing
Yeah.
countdown to victory, like victories ago or something like that. Like his is a
Yeah.
little different. Yeah.
I'm like, man, I don't know if you're
It's
gonna be
good.
able to find 60 of them, you know,
Yeah.
here, you know, on top of the ones you've already done. But
He
hey,
just dropped
Chance, hats off
ODU
to you, bro.
today. He just dropped
Yeah.
ODU, and I was at that game.
Good
So
to you.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was-
that was a fun one. So, all right, y'all. With that being said, thank you all so much again for tuning in with us here once again for the Tuffy Talk live show. Make sure if you haven't already, again, we are really doing you know, a lot, you know, with, you know, trying to bring the best NC State content that we can, especially as we really start to grind here. Again, hey, I want to say this as well. We are in the last month without football.
Whew,
Yeah.
makes me so happy.
So this is the last month without NC State football until February, because we're going to be playing in January. That's all I'm saying. So you heard it here first, folks. Put it on the board. Let's go.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you say it enough,
Greg,
you,
this negativity I don't like.
no. If you say it enough, you
I don't
believe
like-
it's not a lie if you believe it.
That's true.
Yes.
Now, believe it or not, one tweet of the week, which for some reason didn't make it on my list, but I'm like, oh my God, like we can't end this thing without talking about it. It was this tweet by Wolfpack Stats, where he basically went into a whole thing about you know, projections for NC State's offense, you know, which, you know, make sure to go and check that out. We'll save that maybe for the next for next week's show, because it's definitely a very complex tweet. But the biggest thing is that, again, right now NC State's plus 2,000 to win the ACC, which, I mean, you know, I mean, again, taking the red off. Maybe sprinkle a little bit. I don't know. Just saying. But, you know,
Good value, as they say.
good value. There's a lot of value there for 20 times your bet. I mean, that's a lot of value there for sure. So, anyway,
It's also
y'all,
gone up from it was plus 1,500, so 15 to 1. It's gone from 15 to 1 to 20 to 1.
okay, that's what's up.
I
There
don't
we
know.
go. So hey, I'll take the extra bread, no problem.
Mhm.
All right, y'all. So with that being said, if you enjoyed this conversation, hit that like button and make sure to give us a follow, Tuffy Talk Now, on Twitter, Instagram, and now TikTok as well, y'all. Make sure to go give us a follow on TikTok, y'all. And with
Moving
that
on
being,
up.
that's right. I know, man. We just hit 30 followers. Hey, man.
Look
we're
at us.
getting there. Look at us go. We're red hot. Watch out. So anyway, y'all, thank y'all so much again for tuning in. We will see y'all soon. As always, go Pack, baby.